Yeah.
So let's talk about Shell Guitar Doors.
Sure.
So you run the US branch of it.
Me and
Billy got
my
you
wife
tied up.
Margaret. Yes.
He's a smooth talker, that Bragg, isn't he? He'll talk you into anything.
Well, he's pretty articulate and makes a good argument, which has been substantiated in my experience, both as a prisoner and as an activist working in prisons today, that there's great efficacy in arts in corrections. You know, I had a sheriff's deputy tell me once that education is important when you're dealing with offenders. In California, half of the people in the California Department of Corrections, half of the prisoners, are illiterate. They can't read. So how do you function in the world if you can't even read? I mean, it's hard enough to get a job, you know, with a college degree, let alone being illiterate. But the deputy told me, Wayne, if I educate a criminal, I've got an educated criminal. So it doesn't address, education alone doesn't address the fundamental change of heart is what's needed. And
But it must be one of the keys to that.
It's part of it. But
to understand the world around you for the first time.
Absolutely. But what we know can bring about a change of heart is art. That, theater, music, drawing, painting, sculpture, poetry is one of the few activities that can actually change a person on a fundamental level. If I can get a guitar in a guy's hands and convince him to write a song to tell his story, he'll find it's the first time he can express himself in a non-confrontational way that has a positive effect on them. People want to hear it. They want to hear the song. He'll start to see himself differently. It's transformative. And it's incredibly cost-effective. Arts and corrections programs are very cheap compared to building more prison cells. And we've seen it both anecdotally and empirically that prisoners that are involved in arts and corrections programs have lower recidivism rates. We're just part of a new longitudinal study now where every time we go into a prison, if we can get some guitars in, we can launch a program. We have some questionnaires that people fill out, and they fill it out again at the end of the semester. And we can start to track and quantify the change in heart, change in attitude. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in safe streets. But if we don't do something to help people change for the better while they're incarcerated, they will most certainly change for the worse. And 98% of the people that are in prison are going to come out someday, and they're going to live next door to you and me.
They already do,
And who do I want living next door? A guy that's been treated like garbage in a world of racism and violence and defeat for decades, or someone that's had job training, therapy, drug treatment, and haven't gotten a chance to look inside themselves and figure out how did they get into trouble and what could they do to make sure that they never go back to those places again.